You know how content creators, especially from YouTube, do the dumbest things just to get views? Well, there are some YouTubers who took things so far that they actually ended up in jail. For starters, do you remember the Stokes twins? No? Let me tell you then. Alan and Alex Chen Stokes are Chinese-American YouTubers with quite the following. 18 million followers, to be exact. And yeah, they're popular for making a lot of prank videos. But there's one video where they took it way too far. So, what exactly did they do in this prank video? Nothing out of the ordinary, just pretended to rob a bank. Who does that? These YouTubers were seen carrying big duffel bags and sporting black clothing and ski masks under the guise that they just robbed a bank. Unfortunately for them, a witness believed the teenagers were carjacking the Uber driver and alerted the police. Kudos to the Uber driver who rightfully denied them his services. And if you think they learned their lesson the first time, think again. Authorities were summoned once again after the twins pulled a similar prank at the University of California. Lucky for them though, this time they only got off with a warning. However, the Stokes twins were later charged with false imprisonment and falsely reporting an emergency, which could have resulted in a 5-year term for each of them. Later, the twins pleaded guilty to filing fraudulent reports of crimes. Later, the hoax video that Alan and Alex shot in the fall of 2019 was taken down. Like, how dumb could they get? Plus, the Stokes brothers could spend a maximum of 5 years in jail if found guilty of all charges. They were ultimately given a sentence of 160 hours of community service and a year of probation. In addition, they both had to make compensation on top of that. And if you think that was dumb enough, one YouTuber just set himself up for the authorities for what he did, like showing off your luxuries to the world, only for the police to find out you're a fraud and also evading tax. Well, that's the case for Cara Squillo. Cara Squillo rose to prominence online over the last few years and became well known among his millions of fans for flaunting his lavish homes, luxury vehicles, and pricey jewelry. Man got charged with copyright infringement, tax evasion, and fraud following a 2-year investigation. Yikes. And in November 2019, agents stormed Cara Squillo's royal residence and seized more than $35 million in assets. Several homes were taken by the government, plus more than 50 cars, including a $140,000 Tesla and a $233,000 Rolls-Royce. That is some expensive stuff. For all the stunts he pulled, this YouTuber detailed in one of his videos that he might spend up to 10 years behind bars. Plus, the dude also created an illegal multi-million-dollar streaming company. So you bet your butt the authorities are after him. But all that pales in comparison to this next YouTuber, who has the makings of a psychopath. Remember Pollution Entertainment? Though nothing of the sort is entertaining in this YouTuber's account. Former YouTuber Mattis Ignacio from Chile rose to fame after posting a video of himself abusing his pet cat violently and fatally. Like, what is his problem? Really? When Mattis first started his YouTube account, he posted videos of him drawing his stuffed animals, playing video games, and creating paint animations. Sounds harmless enough, right? Cute even. Wrong. Those videos frequently featured blood, gore, and shrill screaming. But it gets a whole lot worse, and quickly. In a video he released in 2018 titled Tortazo Slap, Mattis physically mistreated his pet cat by slamming an open can of cat food in his face while holding him down. Thankfully, the video has been removed from the site since then, man. Mattis is one real problem child. Mind you, he also faced several sexual allegations from his peers. 2 women came forward with details of Mattis's abuse. They claimed that Mattis had touched them in their private areas after he was told not to. Big yikes energy. This kid clearly needs professional help and ASAP. But you know, if we're talking about gruesome here, these YouTubers we're about to name definitely take the cake. Remember Not So Fantastic Devin? He's one of the most recent YouTubers who gained notoriety for what he did to his classmates. Devin Erickson, a 21-year-old Denver, Colorado resident, was charged with more than 40 offenses, including first-degree murder. He was found guilty in June 2021. What 21-year-old wants to murder people? So what actually happened was that Devin teamed up with a classmate named Alec McKinney. They planned on going after several classmates who had teased him about being transgender. McKinney later revealed to police that Erickson had been plotting the attack for weeks. Now, the two carried out this attack one fateful day, just as their class was scheduled for a movie screening in their classroom. This attack killed 1 teenager and left 8 injured. At the time, Devin was 18, so he obviously faced a life sentence. But the judge, upon hearing the witnesses and survivors' accounts, bumped up his sentence to 100 years behind bars and multiple charges. That is one sick dude. We're so glad he's behind bars. But if you really want to know one YouTuber who literally went out with a bang, then we can't keep Elliot Rodger out of this list. Elliot Rodger, the son of Hollywood director Peter Rodger, was raised in a privileged and relatively affluent environment. Now, if you want to go back and review his earlier uploads, nothing strange or unusual leaps out and everything appears to be fairly normal. Except for his final video titled Retribution. Nothing ominous about that title at all. Elliot Rodger viciously stabbed 3 of his pals, including his 2 roommates, in his apartment in May 2014 in Isla Vista, California, before going on a shooting rampage outdoors. Sadly, 14 individuals had been hurt by gunfire or resulting car accidents by the time the attack came to a close. The events had left 6 people dead, not counting Rodger, who took his own life in the car. You see, earlier that day of the massacre, this 22-year-old had emailed several people, including his father, a lengthy autobiography titled My Twisted World. His autobiography examines his background, mental health, and abiding dislike of women, which was fueled by severe irritation over his virginity. See? He's as privileged as the next white boy. But this kid clearly needed help, if only he reached out. Now, this next YouTuber found herself behind bars because of a curious but fatal experiment. Make no mistake, Mona Lisa Perez is nothing like the previous 2. She's a makeup and fashion blogger, for goodness sakes. However, there was one harrowing incident that left her scarred forever and her boyfriend dead. Mona Lisa and her boyfriend, Pedro Ruiz, decided to shoot a very risky video one fateful day on June 26, 2017. Just for the heck of it, they decided to strap a heavy encyclopedia to his chest and have Mona Lisa fire a gun at the book. These 2 thought that the book would be thick enough to stop the bullet from hitting Pedro, but oh, were they wrong. Pedro died right after the bullet went straight through the book. Because of this, Mona Lisa was detained right after and received a sentence of just 6 months in jail after pleading guilty to her crimes in December of 2017. Now, she continues to remain on probation for the next 10 years and received a lifetime ban from firearms too. That's probably for the best. With that, this has been today's video of the top famous YouTubers who have been arrested.